Today I'm reviewing the Sims 4 Kids Room stuff. This is a part of a series where I review every single Sims 4 pack, including all of the old ones. New video uploaded every Monday. Kids Room stuff is all about customizing your kids' bedrooms with loads of brand new furniture and objects. It contains a new monster card trading system. These are known as Void Critters. It kind of works in a similar way to Amiibos for Nintendo or Neopets. There's also a brand new Puppet Theatre show as well, and some new casts. Starting with the cast, there's some mostly okay stuff for both genders. There's a really great balance. I'm not gonna lie, it's not the most inventive or creative looking cast in the world. There are some nice things. For example, there's a couple of t-shirts that play on kiddie things, like there's a t-shirt of a famous child pop star or famous boy on it. There's also a teacher which kind of has the Sims version of the Nyan Cat, if anybody remembers that. It's just the majority of clothing looks very, very bland, and I just feel like it wasn't really that creative enough, especially seeing it's a pack dedicated to kids. You think they'd go further with it, but they didn't. I personally think they should have gone further with it using some of the Void Critters. The Void Critters being the creatures that come with this pack. They do look kind of like Neopets, I guess, and I feel like they should have put a few t-shirts with those on there, or just something just to make it a little bit more special. In real life, kids often wear memes on their t-shirts or cartoons, you know, mascots or things on clothing, and I just feel like they could have gone a lot further with it. There is a lot of stuff to fill the kids clothing section with on here, and I do acknowledge that it just didn't go far enough. So unfortunately, we are starting off week with a 4 out of 10 for the cast. For build buy, it contains mostly stuff for kids' bedrooms. It contains a brand new single bed as well as some other miscellaneous furniture. The furniture contains a wide variety of swatches, and I actually think it's some of the most popular build buy among builders in the game, and that's because a lot of the furniture is actually really nice. It's very basic looking furniture, but it comes with really great swatches, and the great thing about it, you don't have to use it all in kids' rooms. A lot of this furniture actually suits adults' rooms too, especially the wardrobe and the desk that comes with this pack. It also comes with a really nice seat as well and a nice TV stand, and the bookshelf too is probably the best bookshelf in the whole game. And the great thing is, a lot of the swatches, they're not just very childish, some of them are very neutral as well, so you can use a lot of it actually for teen bedrooms or even adult bedrooms too. In terms of the kids stuff though, this pack contains a lot of posters and a lot of different swatches for all of the posters, meaning that you have a huge variety. A lot of them are all Void Critter posters too, which is cool because that's a running theme of the pack. I will say there is slightly more feminine stuff than masculine stuff, unfortunately, but for all it's worth, I think you can create a lot of really nice stuff for kids' rooms with this. This is honestly some of my favorite build buy of all time in The Sims 4, so it's getting a 9 out of 10 for that. Next up, we have the gameplay. Firstly, there is a tween pop radio station. It contains, I think, 4 or 5 songs. It's just a very small edition, but it's there if you want it. The first gameplay object that comes with this stuff pack is a puppet theatre. Puppet theatres are increased and regulated by the kids skill known as the social skill. The show itself just has a very basic animation. Other Sims will come and sit by and watch. You can ask adult and child Sims to watch, but only children can perform in the puppet station. Parents can't perform for their children or anything. Once a show is performed, your Sim will either have a good or a bad moodlet. If the show was received well by the audience, they will receive a happy moodlet, or they will receive a sad moodlet if they are embarrassed by their performance. Although, I find it a bit strange that it's a sad moodlet. Surely there should be an embarrassed moodlet if they feel embarrassed, not sad, which I thought was quite weird, but there we go. As your Sim builds up their social skill, they actually learn a few more different kinds of shows that they can do as well. The different shows don't really have an impact on the game, it's more so just a different animation, but it's a fun thing that's there. Next up, of course, we have the Void Critter battle station. As I said before, it's kind of, well, the gameplay is actually kind of like a fighting game. They look a lot like Neopets, if anybody remembers those, or Moshi Monsters. First, in order to play the game, you have to place the object down, but then you actually have to buy the booster cards. In that way, it does work a little bit like Amiibos or Pokemon. You can buy them from the computer, and then they turn up in your Sim's inventory, and you can open the cards. They all have quite a long description. I guess if you're into the lore of the pack, you can read the descriptions of all the cards if you want to. Once you have a selection of cards, you can actually use them to battle and train. Training is basically playing by yourself, whereas battling is with another Sim. As I said before, it's kind of like a fighting game. You can choose which Void Critter to play for your selected Sim. The Void Critters actually have like special abilities. I guess if you really want to go that deep into it, you can. It's not the most engaging thing in the world, odds like your Sims either win or lose and they get a moodlet from it. But if you want to look at all of their abilities and power and see which one's going to win, then you can do that. Your Sims gain a happy moodlet if they win the game, but a sad moodlet if they've lost the game. The impact on emotions is actually very, very small, only changing 1 point, and I actually think it should be a lot bigger. And that's because I think children in general, obviously their emotions aren't developed yet and they do get wound up very easily. If a real life child lost the game with Void Critter, I can imagine them becoming enraged, like literally so angry, whereas they just get like -1 sound moodlet, which I don't really think is realistic enough. The Void Critter cards, however, are actually an official household collection, which means that you can collect them all. They can also be displayed on shelves, so if you're into collecting things in The Sims 4, I definitely think it's a really cool idea. I do honestly wish that this stuff pack had a little deeper of an impact on emotions, just because kids do get wound up quite easily, and I think it would have made a lot more sense. I also wish it came with, for example, a Void Critter TV show or something on the kids channel, just for something extra to put in the stuff pack, or even just like a Void Critter magazine or something that the kids could read, something a little bit new. I also wish there was perhaps a little bit more cross-pack compatibility, for example with Get Together creating kids clubs, having, I don't know, a Void Critter party or something. But for what it's worth, I think the gameplay of this stuff pack is okay, especially seeing that it's a stuff pack. Most stuff packs are not that in-depth. I do like that it comes with a brand new collection system, which is really cool, so it's getting a 7 out of 10 for the gameplay. In terms of performance, when the puppet show was first performed, the Sim didn't actually sit down, and they did sometimes sit in awkward places, but that was just a small thing. So this pack is getting a 9 out of 10 for performance. The next part of the review is where I give my personal opinion and overall conclusion about the pack. So The Sims 4 Kids Room Stuff is getting a 7 out of 10 as a total score. The cast for this pack is very unimaginative and deserves a lot more justice. If you just like cast and you're not really into gameplay or build buy, I actually recommend getting the kids clothes kit. It was actually designed by another simmer, and I think a lot of the stuff looks very nice in it. I do think that the build buy is a must for the majority of build mode players, and that's just because honestly it contains such a wide variety of swatches that are literally perfect for creating bedrooms. It also contains some stuff that I think looks really great in living rooms and studies too, making it one of the most well-rounded stuff packs for build buy. The gameplay is very, very small but appropriate, just seeing that it is basically just a stuff pack. We have had much bigger stuff packs before, so it is at one of the lower ends in terms of one of the least engaging stuff packs. But for what it's worth, guys, if you want an extra addition to family gameplay in your game, I think the kids stuff pack does add that little extra element. As well as this review, I upload brand new brutally honest reviews of every single Sims 4 pack every Monday. I'm going to pop the playlist here, so make sure you save the playlist so you can go back to it anytime. I update it every single Monday. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.